Celtics? Who are we the Celtics? Who are we the Celtics?
The Celtics absolutely blow the doors off the Milwaukee Bucks. Final score 140-99. Yes, I said that right. The Celtics won by 41 points to the Milwaukee Bucks. This game was the best game that we have seen from the Boston Celtics in years. In years. Unreal performance. Going to follow today's podcast a little different. There is not a single negative that you can take from today's game. So we're going to dive in. We're going to break this into two different sections per normal. We're going to talk about the Jays. And then in the second half, we'll talk about everything else and Joe Mazzulla and the defense. But to get things started here, want to give player of the game to both of the Jays. This is not a single performance. This was Jaylen Brown coming out, lighting the Milwaukee Bucks on fire. Had 17 points in that first quarter. Absolutely getting wherever he wanted. The part that I loved most about this game for Jaylen Brown is the fact that only 9 of his 30 points came from three. He was 3 of 5 from three, but this guy was super efficient. Wow. I will tell you guys, why did nobody comment? I just went 3 minutes and I was on mute the entire time. I just went on and made myself look like an idiot. So we are going to start this from the beginning here. We are going to break this podcast a little bit differently than normal. We're still going to go through our, player of the game, but we're not talking any negatives today. We're going to break this into two different parts. We're going to talk about Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum, and then we're going to talk about the other guys and Joe Mazzulla, the defensive game plan that he put together here, because this was truly the best game that the Celtics have played in years. In years. Unbelievable performance from them. But to get things started here, I want to start with Jaylen Brown because he was the one that started this game. He came out guns a-blazing and was truly unstoppable. DraftKings, one of our sponsors, put a line out. His over-under was 23.5. Hammered the over on that. He had 17 points in the first quarter. The guy was truly unstoppable. He was getting whatever he wanted all game long. The part that I love about Jaylen Brown's game the most is the fact that he only had 3 threes in this game. So 9 of his 30 points were from three, right? He was super aggressive getting downhill, right? Do the math there. He was 10 of 15 from 2 in this game. This guy was super efficient, and he was doing it by getting into the lane, going against Giannis, finishing above Lopez. He was making tough shot after tough shot, and he was doing it within the rhythm of the offense. All season long, I've talked about ball and player movement 3 times tonight. He saw easy layups / dunks because he had a beautiful backdoor cut. Marcus Smart found him 3 different times. That exact play happened. This is ball and player movement to perfection. We've talked about it on this podcast all year long. This is when the Celtics are at their absolute best. Ball and player movement on point, right? This was truly a perfect game through and through for the Celtics team. But Jaylen Brown, huge part of it. Jayson Tatum, also huge part of it. Jayson Tatum had 40 points in this one, 8 rebounds, 12 of 18 from the field, 8 of 10 from 3. Now, he has struggled immensely from beyond the arc in recent games. Pretty much since the All-Star break, he has struggled from beyond the arc. He came out here and was 8 of 10. The guy was a gunslinger. There was a point in this game where the Celtics were up 30-something points. Jayson Tatum hits a step-back 3 over Bobby Portis, and all of the TNT broadcast just starts laughing. This was a laughable game. Laughable. The fact that we came out here, we outscored them 34-26 in the first, 41-21 in the second. We had a 28-point lead at halftime. And it's because Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum were truly unstoppable. They came out here, the Bucks had zero answer for anything they wanted to do all night long. Jaylen Brown driving aggressively hard at Giannis. Jayson Tatum stepping back, hitting 3 after 3 after 3. This was like one of the best performances I've seen in years from this Celtics team. And I'm not sitting here exaggerating that. We put up 140 points on 56% from the field, 51% from 3. We got to the free throw line 20 times, and we turned the ball over only 8. The Celtics did everything right, defended at a super high level, and offensively was just ridiculous. There was one point in this game where Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown had 70 points, which is what they ended at. The Milwaukee Bucks had 69. Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown through 2.5 quarters had outscored the Milwaukee Bucks as a team, right? Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, unbelievable. And the numbers, like, they're super efficient. Jaylen Brown did not get to the free throw line a lot in this one. But you look at the rest of his game, he was getting everywhere he wanted. Couple of nice baseline fadeaways. We saw that Marcus Smart to Jaylen Brown feed on the backdoor cuts. Like, we've talked about this all the time. All season long, we've talked about these backdoor cuts 3 times. Like, this was Celtics basketball playing at their absolute best with 2 superstars that just went out and did their thing. This was as impressive as it gets for this Celtics team. And it wasn't just Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown. We had a lot of guys step up and play at a very high level in this one. But it all starts and ends with the Jays. Jayson Tatum came on strong in the second. Jaylen Brown started the game off strong. They both had a really good third quarter. This was, truly a performance where they did absolutely whatever they wanted all game long. The Milwaukee Bucks had no answer for them on the offensive end. Defensively, both Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown both had really solid nights too. There were points today where both of them matched up against Giannis. Both of them forced Giannis into a really, really tough shot. Right? This was, again, as good as it gets. As good as it gets. I do want to talk about some of the other guys, but I needed to highlight both of the Jays because they truly were spectacular in this one. Showed that they were 2 absolute superstars in this league, and they should 100% be all NBA players. That is still going to go on my tombstone once I pass. Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown deserve to be all NBA. We are going to talk about some other guys. Before we dive into that, I want to take a quick break for a word from our sponsors. This podcast is brought to you by Hopewell Hemp Farms. Hopewell Hemp Farms is your only source for the highest quality American-grown hemp products. If you're like me and love to be active, whether that's playing in an adult softball or basketball league, or your level of activity is limited to yard work, one thing is for certain. As you get older, joints start to hurt. Well, I turn to Hopewell Hemp Farms Body Butter to relax those joints and their amazing tinctures to help me fall asleep. Check them out at hopewellhempfarms.com today and stock your nightstand the only way I know how. Looking for an agent to help you buy or sell real estate? George Dimas at PD Properties is the agent for you. Sell now for a flat 3% commission on the sales price. PD Properties utilizes the most current marketing techniques and strive to put more money in your pocket. If you're looking to buy, call now and George will be with you every step of the way until you find a property you're able to call home. Serving the North Shore and beyond, call George Dimas with PD Properties today at 781-913-2290. That's 781-913-2290. Ready for the underdogs, the upsets, and the unbelievable action from DraftKings Sportsbook? The biggest tournament in college basketball is here. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 on college hoops and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, for a limited time, all customers can score a no-sweat bet during round 1 and 2 of the tournament. Go to the app, opt in, and place a no-sweat bet this weekend. If it doesn't hit, you'll get a bonus bet back up to $10. And to make this even sweeter, for all of you massholes out there, DraftKings is officially live in Massachusetts. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and sign up with code TBPN. New customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly, win or lose. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code TBPN. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. All right, so want to talk through really the rest of the guys, but I want to get started here with Joe Mazzulla. And here's why. More often than not, people love to complain about Joe Mazzulla. They want to complain about the rotations. They want to complain about him not making adjustments, him not calling timeouts, all of that, right? I've come on here. I've talked about some of it, but for the large majority of the season, I think Joe Mazzulla has done a fantastic job. I am not on the Joe Mazzulla is not the right guy bandwagon that a lot of people seem to be. Joe Mazzulla put together a beautiful defensive game plan for this Milwaukee Bucks team. Giannis still ended the night with 24 points. However, 11 of 27 from the field. We gave him 5 threes, missed every single one of them. The game plan for covering Giannis all night long was putting a really strong wing defender on him and then forming a line at the rim. If he got past the initial line of defense, there were 3 guys waiting for him all night long, forcing him to do one of 2 things. Either take a ridiculously hard contested shot, which he did a lot, and he missed a lot, or kick it out to one of his guys. The thing with our Celtics defense, all of those wing players, Smart, JB, Tatum, long, right? Quick. Every time Giannis kicked it out, we got out, we rotated past and forced another tough shot, right? So every single time Giannis touched the ball, there was a tough shot being either made or missed every single time. There was no easy shot that the Celtics gave out tonight, except for the wide open threes that the Celtics decided to give Giannis. But he missed all of them because he's a horrible three-point shooter, right? This was a defensive, masterclass. Joe Mazzulla put together a fantastic game plan for covering Giannis. And I know a lot of people are not going to talk about it because they just think that the Celtics players are good defenders. It doesn't work both ways, right? You want to see game plan? This was a game plan. Joe Mazzulla put it together, right? Love it. Perfect defensive game plan on Giannis today. A lot of credit to Joe Mazzulla. However, want to talk about some of these other players. We've talked about Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum absolutely destroying the Bucks in this one. They got a lot of help. Al Horford, really tough game last game. Came out, looked like a spry 23-year-old. 14 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 of 8 from the field, 4 of 6 from 3. Unbelievable performance from Al. He was hitting everything he was taking. Marcus Smart, talked about him a little bit already with the Jaylen Brown backdoor cuts. 10 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists, a steal. Didn't take a ton of shots, 4 of 10, so lower, right? We've seen him up around 15 at some points. All of his shots were wide open. I don't think this was a Marcus Smart game where he went out and took a ridiculous amount of tough contested shots. However, the 8 assists is what I'm most interested in. He was back to his facilitating, playmaking role that he did such a good job of in the beginning of the season. This was it tonight. Again, 3 backdoor cuts to Jaylen Brown for easy dunks or layups. Ball and player movement, key for this Celtics team to play at their highest level. Marcus Smart's a huge part of that. 3 beautiful passes, thread the needle passes for Jaylen Brown. But he did it all night long. Really good performance from Marcus Smart. And then we saw unbelievable minutes from Malcolm Brogdon. Played 27 minutes in this one. 14 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals. So not only was he hitting very tough shots, backing guys down, making great, creating great opportunities at the rim, he was defending at a ridiculously high level. Getting his hands in passing lanes, forcing guys like Giannis, to turn the ball over because he's just getting his hands in the middle of everything. Malcolm Brogdon was fantastic in this one. You talk about a 6th man candidate. This was as good as it gets. This wasn't a game where he went out and shot the ball particularly well. He was 0 of 4 from 3. It's certainly not his, 50% self, 40%, 45% self, right? He did everything else. Defended at a super high level, moved the ball. He was 2nd in assists behind Marcus Smart, tied with Jaylen Brown with 5. He was a plus 41 in 27 minutes. That seems like a made-up number. It's not. Plus 41 in 27 minutes. And it just goes to show that when he was out there, things were going pretty well. They were going pretty well in his 27 minutes. Really solid overall performance from him. Time Lord, 7 points, 7 rebounds. Those numbers, fine, right? Whatever. Doesn't seem that impressive. 1 steal, 4 blocks. So again, defensive pressure. We held the Bucks to 99 points. 99 points. He's a huge reason behind it. Both of those guys, Brogdon, Time Lord, from a defensive standpoint, 2 unbelievable games. 4 steals for Brogdon, 4 blocks for Time Lord. As good as it gets. Right? Really solid overall performance from Time Lord. He made a huge impact from an energy standpoint. He made a huge impact blocking everything. There was one play where Giannis blew past Tatum. Robert Williams comes from behind and blocks the hell out of it. This is what you want him in here for. He is a crucial part to any Celtics run that goes to the NBA Finals or wins the NBA Finals. He needs to be a huge piece of that because defensively, he brings something to the Celtics team that nobody else does. We have wing defenders. We have guys that can defend as a team on a string, but Robert Williams is the only guy that's going to go out there and consistently erase missteps, right? So if Jayson Tatum, Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown gets blown by, nobody else on this team can erase shots like Robert Williams can. Truly great performance from him as well. And then we've got other guys that stepped up. I thought played pretty well in this one as well. Sam Hauser, 11 minutes, most of them in garbage time, basically fourth quarter. Came out, I thought he played pretty well. He was running point guard for some of those minutes, played pretty well. Grant Williams, 22 minutes in this one. Defensively, thought he played great. Was kind of a non-factor on the offensive end, had 6 points, 5 rebounds. Shooting was whatever, 2 of 4 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3. But there were plays where, Brook Lopez was trying to back him down. Didn't work. Defended Giannis. Giannis didn't work. You look at this Bucks team, Giannis, 24 points. Great, right? Outside of that, Chris Middleton, 13. Bobby Portis, 12. Outside of that, not a single person had double digits. Brook Lopez, very capable. Jrue Holiday had 51 points yesterday. He came out 2 of 8 tonight. 6 points. Grayson Allen, 3 points, right? The Celtics locked everybody up. Everybody up. We forced Giannis to try and do it himself, and it didn't work. It didn't work because they formed a line at the rim. Game plan, Joe Mazzulla. Adjustments, Joe Mazzulla. Got to give him credit. You want to talk trash about him at points when he's not making adjustments or he's not game planning, quote unquote. Tonight was perfect. Really good game overall for the Celtics team. 28 assists on 51 field goals made, which, again, when you're making that many field goals, when you have Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown combining for 70, the fact that we had 28 assists is pretty damn impressive. But the part that I love most is the turnover battle. That is where the Celtics really stepped it up. They were very careful of holding on to the ball. Only 9 turnovers as a team. One of them was a 24-second shot clock violation at the end of this game. Doesn't count in my eyes. So, again, really good overall game from the Celtics. We out-rebounded them for 745. We had 28 assists to their 22. We had 8 steals to their 4. We had 5 blocks to their 1. We had 9 turnovers to their 13. We had 12 fast break points to their 8. We had 54 points in the paint to their 36. We actually had 2 more fouls than they did. So Milwaukee Bucks fans don't have to complain because the fouls were not one-sided. But truly, this was as complete a game as we've ever seen from this Celtics team. And this is the Milwaukee Bucks, right? 55 and 22 on the season. This is the Milwaukee Bucks. They are a contender. We've talked about it on this podcast. The Celtics have done a really bad job of playing down to their competition at times, but they always get up for it when it matters. You got to give them credit for it. Really, really solid performance for the Celtics tonight, coming out with a 41-point win. That's where we're going to wrap things up. This was a fun game to watch for Celtics fans. It was not fun for anybody else in the world because it was an absolute shit show. When commentators are laughing about the game, you know it was bad. But that's where we're going to wrap things up, guys. If you haven't done so already, follow me on Twitter at NBA Celtics Guy. Make sure to follow our Facebook page, Boston Celtics Till I Die, and our YouTube page, Boston Celtics Game Day Recap. Have a great night, Celtics fans. We'll talk soon.
Yeah, you couldn't help it. I know you felt it. Green and white and green. Who are we, the Celtics? Who are we, the Celtics?